Hey guys, and welcome to today's video. In today's video, we're going to take a look at sales conversion rate. And guess what? We're using Power BI to solve it. Our journey begins with a real-world business scenario, which sets our direction. From there, we'll decode the vital KPIs without any complexities, just clear insights. As we transition to Power BI, we can see how the data will transform into actionable insights through our calculations and visuals. And by the end, you'll see just how our insights provide tangible answers to the business questions that we will look at in the beginning. Let's get started. So here you can see the sales rate conversion dashboard that we want to end up with. But before we start to look at the data and calculations and all that fun stuff, let's just get to know a little bit more about the use case and the actual KPI. Now here's the mail from our stakeholder. Subject: understanding our sales success. Dear awesome data analyst, I hope this email finds you well. I've been looking at the number of people we've reached out to, both online and offline, over the past few months. We've had some amazing marketing campaigns and the feedback has been great, with lots of inquiries and website visits. However, I'm trying to understand how well we're actually doing in terms of turning these potential customers or leads into actual sales. Are we effective in our follow-ups? Which channels or campaigns are giving us the best outcomes in terms of sales? I'm sure there's a way to measure this, right? For our next strategy meeting, could you help us with some insights into this? I think it'll help us focus our efforts better and maybe identify areas we need to improve. A visual breakdown would really be helpful, something I can share with the team. I always appreciate your insights. You have a knack for making sense of these numbers. Thank you and looking forward to what you find. Best wishes, Charlie Thompson, Head of Outreach Initiatives. So this is just a mail from someone who wants your help and is, trying to figure out just basically how well are we doing in terms of conversion. We get certain leads, we get some stuff coming inbound from efforts, from marketing efforts or other channels, and how many of those are we actually turning into sales? That's what we want to find out. So if we then think about this is the mail from the stakeholder, let's now look at the user stories that I've created based on this. So the first one is identifying conversion needs. As the head of outreach initiatives, I want to gauge the effectiveness of our campaigns by understanding the rate at which potential customers turns into sales. That's the first one. The second one is channel efficiency analysis. As the head of outreach initiatives, I want to see which channels or campaigns have the highest conversion rates to allocate resources effectively. Figure out which channel works the best. Improvement areas identification. As the head of outreach initiatives, I want to identify areas of low conversion to strategize and improve our success rate. Figure out which ones aren't performing that well and put in strategies to work on that. Visual overview for team sharing. As the head of outreach initiatives, I want a visual breakdown of our conversion success across channels and campaigns for easy team sharing and discussions. Lead to sales journey insights. As the head of outreach initiatives, I want insights into the journey from lead to sale to pinpoint bottlenecks or inefficiencies. These are the user stories we have created. These are the things that becomes our guiding map, our compass, when we start to work in Power BI with the data, calculations, and how we show it to make sure that you can answer these questions that are inside these user stories that they are basically based on. These are the needs we need to respond to. We then look at the KPI that we've decided to focus on. It's the sales conversion rate. Measures the percentage of potential customers who complete a purchase. So an example is that in March, 1,500 people expressed interest in our product, but only 250 finalized their purchases. This yields a sales conversion rate of 16.67. And the application is that evaluating the sales conversion rate offers insights into success of our sales pitches and strategies. It helps spotlight areas that might need refinement and assist in optimizing both marketing approach and sales funnel for better outcomes. So that's how we're going to try to apply it. That's how you could apply it. So then we've come to the part where we start to look at this in Power BI. So here we have different segments. We have some lead sources, product categories, regions. And as we click around, you can see that we start to look at, how many leads did we have? What is the sales conversion rate for the leads? Different regions or sources, segments, etc. This is where we want to end up. This is what we want to build and try to create together. So let's start with that. Let's start with doing the first thing we have to do, and that is to get some data into Power BI. So let me open a new file. So let's take a look at that. This is the file where we are going to load some data and then slowly work our way so that we have the same dashboard as you see here. And then I'll talk you guys through it. And at the end, we'll see which ones of the user stories we can answer if the dashboard looked like this. So the first thing is I'm going to add this text box on top. Just name it. Let's do that first. And then we'll call this sales rate conversion. Let's make it a little bit bigger. More. And then I can tell right away that I want to change it to a different style. And then we'll put the effects on this one, this background to dark blue, text to white, and then turn down the transparency on the background. So that gives us enough of a heading. Sales rate conversion. Then let's get some data into this Power BI file. So let's go to Get Data, Excel, and we're going to navigate to the sales conversion rate folder and grab the example data. What Power BI does, it's grabbing this data now. It's saying this is what it looks like. You can take a look at it. You can click transform data. It's going to start something called Power Query, what is used to load data into Power BI. And already now we can look at some of the columns. We have a lead ID, prospect ID. We have conversion status, source, product category, region, segment, date. Already quite a few dimensions we can use to do analysis on the conversion of these leads. Close and apply. Now it's going to load the data into this Power BI file, and we can shortly start to work with this, create calculations, and then create visualizations. So it's loaded 1,000 rows of our example data. This is where it sits. If you want to preview it, you can go over here to table view. This is what it looks like if you want to see it. And then to refer back to the end product, this finished one, I know I need this date table. So I'm going to copy this table so that we get a separate date dimension. We want that to navigate time over different types of columns. And if we need our own custom columns, we can do that also. So I'm going to go to modeling, new table. It's going to create the table now, and then it's going to ask me for the DAX that I just entered. So this is basically taking two variables, finding the min and the max date, finding the years for those, and then it's going to use that information to create some ranges in our calendar to understand which years does the calendar need to span over. And then it's going to create some columns based on some formatting and the date column in that table. So first it makes a calendar with all the dates within this time frame, and then it takes that date and it turns it into a year column, month name column, month name short, month number here. And then you can see now it's going to start to generate this table. So we have that. I can show you guys what it looks like. We create a table, create a date column, month name short, month number, and year. It's going to fill out those columns, and then you can see that we have all those columns in our date table. So they are there. That's great. We have that. If we remove the date, now we have month name and month name short. You can see that the sorting on those is not as I want. So I'm going to sort by column, and then month number, on month name, and on month name short. We needed them both to do this so we get the right sorting. So now you can see one of them is sorted, but not the other one. Let's click month name short, sort by column, and then we go month number. And that's also going to sort that logically according to the month number throughout the year. Let's go over to the model view. We need to connect these tables now. So I'm going to drag data down here, take the date column and drag it there so that it creates a relationship. Perfect. So now the date table can filter the data table. Great. We are ready to create calculations. Let's go back. So what do we have? We have number of leads, which is just a distinct count of the lead ID columns. Let's create that first. You measure, so the number of leads equals distinct count lead ID. Great. What does that give us? We have this one, number of leads. We have 1,000 leads, 1,000 rows, 1 row per lead. Perfect. Then we need leads converted and not converted. So let's create that. New measure. We can go number of leads, parentheses converted, equals calculate. Let's find the measure we want to change or adapt, the number of leads, where conversion status equals converted. Now that we have created this measure, we have to check it. So I'm going to drag it in here. 486, that worked. I'm going to go Control A for all, Control C for copy. New measure. Let's go not converted. I'm just going to change the small detail to not converted, and it should work. I'm all about efficiency and reuse, so I do this. This is how I work all the time. Drag that in. Looks great. Then we can go conversion rate. It's a basic division. So new measure. So we'll go conversion rate, parentheses, percent equals, divide a different function, converted over, it should be number of leads. Yes. So now for the sake of it, we can drag the conversion rate in there, 49%, turn that into a percentage. Great. We have a date table. We have some columns we're going to use as dimensions. We have a conversion rate. We have something that tells us about number of leads. If you want to look at how much was converted versus not converted, we can also do that. So let's start with the first point, which is to add some of these filters or slicers, as Power BI calls them. So we can go customer segment, lead source, product category, and region. So let's do that. I'm going to go customer segment. Did I remember all of them? Product category. I'm going to put it up there. Shift one down. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Doesn't need to be that wide. And I like this type, slicer setting. I like the drop down style. You can use whichever style you want. I'm going to copy, put it back in. Product category was the second one. Third one was, I believe, the lead source. And the fourth was the region. That I remember. We'll see if I'm right in a little bit. Here we are. Lead source, shift down, region. Great. Now to make it easier to see the borders around it, I like to go on the background. I click here, the blank area, which gives me the settings for the whole canvas background. Change it to gray. I'm going to put it to 10%. Then I want to change this one and go to effects, background on, turn down the transparency, use the format painter. There we go. Now it's easier to see how they stand out and that they are aligned. Great. Next thing, some KPIs, some donut charts. Let's start with those. So we can add KPI, number of leads, drag that up there, shift to the right, effects, let's go on, turn down the transparency, copy it, paste down, and I think I have conversion rate. So I have those two. Already I can tell that, I want 1,000 spacing on this one. I want to turn the callout value a little bit smaller. It doesn't have to be that big. The label smaller, make it black. Now I can just go format painter, paint the other one, and I don't have to do it 2 times. All about saving time. Learn to work in a way so that you save some time. I can also tell I forgot the navigation on top, so let's do that. Let's add a slicer. Year. This one I'm going to change to something called a tile. This is something I like to use on dates and time. So let's move that up here. And we'll drag it all the way over there. That's how much space I need. Don't need any slicer header on this one. Looks a little bit nicer. Okay, Control C, Control V, line it up. Perfect. Drag it out. Replace it with month name short. And we also have navigation for the year. Great. 2023. Perfect. Then we have these different donut charts. We have sales conversion by product category, segment, and product. Oh, I have it twice. We could change that to lead source. We can fix that though. I'm going to copy this one and put it in here. Something is wrong. It's the name of the measure. For the sake of it, I can show you guys, see details. Something's wrong with one or more fields. It doesn't have the same name. So if I just drag this in now and I replace it, that fixes it. Great. I can go Control C, Control V to get it back another copy. All I have to do now is just to change the dimension. So it was on product category. We can go to lead source. So we have that. And then I also want customer segment. It's a little bit of space that's missing, but it's fine. This one will be a little bit smaller then. So we have customer segment. If you want to, for the sake of the video, I can show you guys how to create it from scratch. Click a donut chart, conversion rate goes to values, customer segment, go to details, and there you go. Just because I have done a lot of formatting here, I can click this one, hit the format painter, click it there, and I save a lot of time. It's great. Now for this one, I went to legend, and then I went, no, sorry, slices, and I just picked one of these ones, and I just went from bright to darker as you go down. This could be a little bit troublesome if someone is colorblind, I think, but right now I just did it for aesthetic purposes and to differentiate the pies or the donuts a little bit. So let's go, we can go orange on this one. You can try it out. Sometimes it works, sometimes it does not work, but try it out nonetheless. Wait, so we have this one, second, third, fourth, fifth. Oh, this time it didn't work because I have one value too much. There you go. Now you can see, but it's okay. It's not that serious. The last two things are these two. We have a matrix table and we have a, what is this one called again? It's a line and stacked column chart. Let's create that one. So we take a line, stacked column chart. Let's put it there. Drag you down here. So we're gonna do on the x-axis, we'll add month name short. We will do, let's see, converted, not converted. Which one do I want on top? Yes, I want converted on top of not converted, and then I want conversion rate on the axis. Now there are some small things that I can just take from the formatting on this one, so I save some time, but there are also some things I have to do on this one. Let's make it a little bit wider. So I want the columns. You don't have to use the same colors and setting as I do. That's up to you. So I want the converted ones to be on top actually. And then I want the other ones to be gray and fall below. And we can put the line, we can make, oh, that's wrong. Let's go back. The line, I want the line to be black. Let's see, there we are. Okay, that's better. Data labels on, and we only have the data labels on for, let's turn off converted, let's turn off not converted. Yes, only keep the conversion rate. Data labels again, sorry, background. Turn on the transparency on the right label so you can really see the numbers. Actually, let's drag it over here. Let's do it like this. That's fine. What else do we have? We have region, which drills down into customer segment. Let's create that one. We go to visuals, matrix, new one, new visual. Yep, there we are. We go region, then I think it goes into customer segments so that you can drill into that. Then we have conversion rate, and then we have month name short. And I can see that we have 2 decimals, which you don't need in the conversion rate. So we can at least take it down 1 so that you take away some of the width. And now it fits on one page. Perfect. Row headers, turn on the plus sign so that you can drill on the different rows. Now it got a little bit wider. You can change the font. I know that this font, Calibri, makes it a little bit more compact. So if you change all the fonts to that, you can see we're going to get a little bit more room to play with. Okay, great. Let's not spend too much time on this. Effects, turn on the background, conversion rate, conditional formatting, from white to, let's go the second on blue, just to give it some actually second or green to give it some colors. The darker the color, the higher the conversion rate. So now we should be quite aligned on this one and that one. It's a little bit different on the colors and some small things here and there, but mostly, you know, aligned. Now we can go and we can click a segment if we want to focus on that. We can click a specific month if we want to see how that month was. It's already up to us, specific lead sources, which also means that you can use some of these attributes if you want that instead of what I have used. It's totally up to you guys. If we then go back to the mail and the user stories, let's see if we can answer these now. So, as the head of outreach initiatives, I want to gauge the effectiveness of our campaigns by understanding the rate at which potential customers turn into actual sales. Now, you could say we don't have the campaign dimension there, so you can't go down on that level. If we had lead sources and we had campaigns that were inside the lead sources, then we could do that. So you could argue that we actually can't do that on campaign level, but we can look at the rate, how that goes over time. So I would say number one, 50-50. We haven't fully solved it, but 50-50. Channel efficiency analysis. I want to see which channels or campaigns have the highest conversion rate to allocate resources effectively. Now, if I had created this dashboard and I read this, I would have actually gone in and I most likely would have changed this to be from being on customer segment. I would have said, okay, actually, this one, maybe it should be for the different regions and then change it to lead sources. So we can see what is the conversion rate in the different lead sources and which ones are the most efficient. So now I think we are responding to that better than how it was previously. And then as the head of outreach initiatives, I want to identify areas of low conversions to strategize and improve our success rates. Now this really depends when it says identify areas of low conversion. In this case, we focused a bit on lead sources, but here you can change it to be focused on product category, how it converts within that, or customer segment. So this one, I would say I would have showed it and be like, okay, should we focus on other dimensions than what I have done in this dashboard to figure out which improvement area is it that you are kind of focusing on. Then number 4, visual overview for team sharing. I think we have solved that. This is a much more visual overview of how the conversion is across channels. Yes, campaigns. Fortunately, no, we don't have that dimension. So I would have come back and say, okay, but I'm missing the dimension for specific campaigns. If we can get that in, then we can go even deeper into the data. And then lead to sale journey insights. Now that's something that is not here. And that is, how does the journey go from the lead came in to then go through different steps to become a sale? We don't have those details here. So I would say if this was the dashboard, these were the user stories. The initial one I made, there you will need to make some small adaptations. And then I think we're starting to answer it quite well, but there are still some data points that are not there. There are still some things that could have been better, but that's a part of the game. You have to learn to compromise a little bit with the data, with the stakeholder, because this is a whole lot better than nothing. And that's also a lesson that I want to take from this video, is that you're not going to be able to solve everything the first time. You're not going to have all the data the first time. You're not going to have everything ready the first time. But the person, the stakeholder, our friend, Charlie Thompson, will still be very excited to have this dashboard and to get going, because this is a starting point. He can start to do analysis, and once again, it's so much more than not having anything. That wraps up our deep dive into sales conversion rate. If you found value in today's content, then give it a thumbs up, subscribe, or share with someone else. If you have any thoughts or questions you want to ask, then you can leave those in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video.